What is going on, everybody? Today we're back with another video. Elena Diaz requested this from me. So shout out to Elena. If you don't know Elena, you're missing out. She is awesome, life coach. Did her first podcast with her. She's the best. Her and her husband, Orlando. Super, super awesome power couple in the community. If you don't know them, get to know them. So I've actually recorded this about 4 or 5 times already, and I can't seem to simplify it. So I'm gonna try and stay on track. Like, I really just wanna focus on keeping this really super simple, and, the goal of the video is to just teach you guys how to basic edit a video, okay? Um, so the program that we're using is DaVinci Resolve. I would highly recommend this video editor if you're looking to edit videos, learn how to edit videos, do all those kinds of things. It is completely free. They have a fully usable, actual, really good free download that you probably won't ever have to upgrade, especially if all you're doing is podcasts. But then they only have a one-time fee of $295. So that's for life. It's kind of like Sub 2. You pay once, you get all the updates for the rest of your life, right? And it's super, super powerful. They've been using this in Hollywood to color correct things for years. It's literally been the industry standard for color correction for years. There's studios just like this one. So anyways, it's a really, really good program. There's a lot that you can do into it. There's a lot that you can go into. That's what this is right here. So that's what we're in. I'm going to preface this video with a couple things. I'm going to assume that you've recorded a podcast with someone via StreamYard, via Zoom, via something else. Okay. I'm just going to assume that you have that done. I'm also going to assume that you have an intro, that you've already recorded an intro to your podcast, and that's done. Then the last thing, this is going to be work on your side, is I am going to, because this is how I know how to use DaVinci, it gets really confusing and I get lost. I'm going to make you install my presets for shortcuts, and I'm going to walk you through because I can talk through it a lot quicker, and it also helps you be a better editor. So it might be a little confusing. This step is a little bit more, but we're going to just do it right now, and I'll have a link to this file in the description of this YouTube. So all you do is, once you have DaVinci all installed, you open it up. You'll probably be greeted with a window like this. Just hit new project, create a new project. So I just named this one Project Forward, close, and then you'll probably be on this first window. It'll look something like this, okay? What you're going to do is go up to DaVinci Resolve, keyboard customization, and then you're going to go click these 3 dots right here, and you're going to import preset, okay? And then inside, I'm going to be sending you a link to this folder right here called DaVinci Presets. I'll have the link to this in the description. You're going to upload this CMR DaVinci Presets. I'm Christopher Michael Rabe. That's me, CMR DaVinci Presets. Okay. So you're going to hit open. I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed. And then from this drop down, you should see a CMR DaVinci preset down here that you check. Okay. What this does is it just changes some of the default editing keys. And inside this folder too is this kind of cheat sheet. I've changed a couple of these from what are on here, but the main ones are all pretty much on here. So if you have a question of, hey, what do these shortcuts do, go to this. And I got this from another guy. His name is Colder Creative. He's a really awesome filmmaker. If you're interested at all in making videos, like travel videos, vlogs, all that kind of stuff, his are probably the best on YouTube, I would say. He's very, very good. So these are he put me on to this, right? I took his idea and then I've kind of molded it into my own. I have some other ones that he doesn't have, but it's a really, really good place to start. Okay. So once you have that done, you are ready to start editing, okay? You're going to see down on this bottom all these tabs. All these tabs are a different part of the process of film editing. So from left to right, this is your media bucket. So this is kind of where you are supposed to import and manage media. This is called the cut tab, which I never do. You saw I just enabled it. So I'm just going to disable it again. I don't know exactly what the purpose of this one is, if I'm being 100% honest. I never use it. This is your main editing tab. This is a this is called Fusion, and it's very high level graphics and animations, things like that you can do in here. It's a completely different workflow, so I'm not going to get into that at all. This is your color correction tab down here. This is your audio correction tab, and this is called, what do they call it? Color. Fairlight is the music and audio mixing, and then your deliver tab is how you render out the video when you're all done. So we're gonna go just straight into the. I'm gonna disable the cut tab because I just don't like having it on there. We're gonna go straight into the edit tab. We're gonna skip over this media tab, and we're gonna just go straight into editing. Okay. So now, next step to do is go find your intro and your podcast. Okay. So that these are mine. Don't judge me. I have not put a lot of time into making these the highest quality that I possibly can. I'm working on that. As you can see, I've changed my background, my camera settings. They're different now. I recorded this before I did that. So I have a short little me talking, and then we get into the podcast. Okay. So I don't think you can hear what I'm listening to. So I'm just finding the spot that my podcast starts, so then I can edit the end point of the actual podcast. Okay, so I start like somewhere right here, this big audio clip right here. So the other one more setting that I need you to make sure is checked is go up here to timeline and make sure this is selected. Selection follows playhead. And this has to be selected for a lot of these shortcuts to work that I'm going to be showing you. But you'll see in a second why this is so cool. Okay, so the main shortcuts that I use while editing, that makes this so fast, is Q, W, and E. Okay, and then 1, 2, and 3. So you can keep your left hand. Where's my hand? Oh, it's backwards. Whatever. You can keep your left hand on kind of the left side of the keyboard, and then you can use your mouse, and you never have to move your mouse. That's the concept of what I'm going to be teaching you with editing with these shortcuts, okay? So the first thing that you do is we found our spot right here. You're going to press Q, and I want you to just watch really carefully what happens to this clip. Okay, so pay attention to right where the playhead is, and I'm going to press Q. Boom. So what I'm going to undo that, which is Command Z, and all I'm doing right now is pressing Q, and we're chopping off this whole beginning part of this clip. Okay? So that's the first shortcut. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know the name for it. I just know that I press Q right here, and that front part of that clip all gets deleted. Okay? Q. Next shortcut is W. So let's say you're going along, right? And you're like, I don't like this part right here. You're going to press W, which creates a splice in this clip. And you're going to say, oh, okay, I want to start it back right here. Okay? Guess what you press now? Q. So you press Q. We delete that whole part right there. I'm going to undo it just so you can see. Press Q. Boom. Undo. Okay? So this makes it very fast to kind of go through, and you just WQ, WQ, WQ. Now, the last one, E, which I use the least out of those three, does the opposite of Q. So if you see right here, watch this and then forward, you press E, we delete that part, and it brings everything forward. Okay? So those are the main like editing timeline shortcuts that I use. And I use those all day long. 1, 2, and 3. 3 goes forward, and you can press it multiple times to go faster. And then you just tap the space bar when you're ready to stop. 1 goes backwards. Same thing. You can press it more times to go faster. And then 2 pauses. So you can kind of just go back and forth between Q, W, and E, 1, 2, 3. And that's literally like 90% of what you need to actually edit and chop and chop up clips and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to do anything special on mine. I'm going to just keep mine very, very, very basic. I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to just tighten this up at the beginning. So I'm just finding where the audio, I look at these audio time wavelengths a lot too, and you can make it bigger if you see, just drag that down. But that's a really good indicator of like where to make edits, right? Because I know I probably start talking right there. So I'm going to cue. Oh, and actually this intro, I forgot. I recorded it. It took me like 3 or 4 takes to get the intro down. So this was my last one that I liked. That's where I start. So I press Q. Oh, and then this is, if you're wondering how I'm doing this, this is another shortcut that I'm going to teach you. Shift, W, and S zooms in and out. So W zooms in, S zooms out. And I'm holding Shift the whole time. Shift, and then I'm pressing W each time. And then S. Shift, S. And we go out. That's also really good. And then Shift Z makes it so it fills the timeline. So if we're like really far zoomed out and you press Shift Z, it'll fill the whole timeline. And then you can zoom in. It zooms into wherever the playhead is. So you see that's kind of where it centers. If we go over here, or I'll just do it because it's a different clip, so it makes it easier. But then you zoom in there, right? And then if you go here, zoom in here. Okay. So I'm just trying to go over like things that you actually do and actually use while editing and make that kind of simple for everyone. So we kind of cut that beginning. And then that's kind of my end. So I pressed E. And then I'm going to just do one more thing. This is going to get a little crazy, a little advanced. It's really not that advanced. I'm going up to Effects. And I'm going to just go to Video Transition. And I'm going to just do a dip to color dissolve. And I'm just going to drag that right there. So all that's doing is just adding that. I peaked a little bit on my audio too, so I'm just dragging from this corner. It kind of just makes a little fade so it's not so harsh. As a start on the audio, I'll probably fade this out too. And Z, let's see. And then I'm just going to drag this. This is how you kind of watch. It'll make it dip to black. So there you go. So now I'm done. I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to put too much more time into this because, yeah, I need to get it out, honestly, is the reason. So now you've once you've gone through, you've edited all the things that you need to edit. Now it's time to export it, right? Get it ready for YouTube, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to just you're going to go to the very last where the video ends, and you're going to press O, and this sets the out point. The in point automatically is just the beginning of the timeline. Since we have nothing before that, it just starts right at the beginning of the timeline. So you are ready to export. So now all you want to do is come down to this Deliver tab, the rocket ship. You can see you have your in and your out points are already set. You're going to scroll over here to YouTube, change it, click the arrow, and change it to 2160, which is 4K. There's no reason not to do it in 4K. And then we're going to do podcast, episode 1. Audrey Enid. I don't know how to say her last name. Enid. Sorry, Audrey. I think that's how you spell it. Let me just make sure. In my sheet, E-N-I-D, Enid, E-N-I-D, I spelled it right. You're going to hit browse so that we can figure out where to put this. I'm going to just put it in my Dropbox, project forward, and we're going to just put it right here. And then you're going to hit this button down here, add to render queue. It's going to pop up over here on the right side. You're going to just click it and then just hit render all. Okay. So then it's going to go through. This is going to take a minute, but once it's done, then you will have, I'm going to just show you. in my project forward right here. It's making the file right now. Podcast episode 1, Audrey Enid MP4. So once this is all done and it's gone through, you can then take this file, upload it to YouTube. Now, there's a lot more that goes to this. I kept this probably about as simple as I possibly could. There's different camera angles. There's syncing audio. There's leveling audio, which I probably should have done on this. I just didn't in this video. There's so many things that go into this to increase the production quality of your podcast. And you can put, like I said, audio is a big one. And I think I'm going to I'm going to follow this up. If you made it this far, I'm going to follow this up right now with an audio hack, trick, whatever you want to call it, that Adobe has. You have to have an Adobe account. I'm not sure if you have to have a paid one or not. I have a paid one, so it just works. But I'll show you how to really easily get awesome audio for these, especially on the Zoom calls, because the Zoom call audio can be kind of a little bit wonky. But I'll do that next. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll post it public. I'm going to just start making all my videos public, so you can just go to my channel and find everything that I do, because most of them are private right now. So anyways, if you have any questions, if you want me to dive deeper on any single part of this, if you have a trouble with some issue, please comment down below and I'll make a video happily on it. I'm kind of just shooting in the dark with what exactly people need as far as video editing. So anyways, it was my pleasure to make this for you. Hopefully it helps. And if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.